Yes, my dear friends, welcome back to the channel GH247. Yes, this is the channel that brings you every news around the continent of Africa, especially Ghana. You're in the diaspora. Don't miss out. This is an explosive interview with one and only the business mogul from Nigeria, Dele Amomodu. Yes, one-time presidential candidate in Nigeria, the owner of OVATION Magazine International. OVATION Magazine International. He is indeed a businessman, a politician, a journalist. Yes, he started all as a journalist. Very interesting conversation with Star FM, BOLA in GH Ghana, Star FM in Ghana. Thanks for the interview. It was a great interview with Dele Amomodu, and we are here to present that interview to you, our audience. Don't go anywhere. Make sure you watch this video to the end. Very interesting facts. Very interesting fact. How did he started his life? The people that came his way, the lifestyle that he lives. Come on, for Dele Amomodu to even call Mike Adenuga as his father. You know who Mike Adenuga is? Oh yeah, the owner of Glo network in Nigeria, both in Nigeria and Ghana. Yes, he said the man eats money whilst he's even sleeping. The owner of the whole network. I mean, he spoke at length even about president of Ghana, from Jerry John Rawlings to John J. Kunkufo to President Mahama in his first tenure. Nanado, then back to President Mahama again. He lives almost 60% of his life in Ghana. Dear friend, don't go anywhere. Watch to the end. Star FM, we are grateful for this interview. I'll see you guys in the next one when you see me. Don't go anywhere. Make sure you watch this video to the end. Come on.
Across borders, ink-stained pages, political circles, and the dazzling halls of global celebrity. Tonight, we're hosting and we're celebrating a man of letters and legacy, a fearless journalist, a publisher of vision, a voice of Africa. From the pages of OVATION International, he didn't just tell stories, he immortalized them. From royalty to revolutionaries, he's captured the heartbeats of nations and has etched their images into the minds of millions. Our guest tonight holds numerous honors and chieftaincy titles and is widely regarded as a bridge between media and politics. If you ask me, between commerce and culture. He once dared to dream of a Nigeria reborn and boldly threw his hat into the ring as a presidential candidate in the 2011 elections under the National Conscience Party. Unapologetically Pan-Africanist. He's my mentor, and I love to say that every now and then. A maverick indeed, a man whose pen has never run dry of truth and passion. Next month, he'll be turning 65. May 16, 1960 was when he was born. From the bustling streets of Ile-Ife, where his journey began, to the global stage where he now stands, I call him a celebrated publisher, a media mogul. His life story is actually one of triumph over adversity. And there's a man who is armed with degrees in Yoruba language and English literature. What a combination. From a university now known as Obafemi Awolowo University. And a career spanning decades. He has inspired generations and is still inspiring many through his weekly Pendulum and ventures like OVATION TV and The Boss newspaper. Tonight, we're celebrating a colossus whose illustrious career began in the late 1980s as a staff writer of the African Concord magazine. Talent and tenacity quickly elevated this man to editorial positions at the Weekend Concord and Classic magazine. He became Nigeria's highest paid editor. However, it was his bold move in 1996, founding Ovation International while in exile, that cemented this legacy. Beyond media, he's a philanthropist. He's a political aspirant, a cultural ambassador, and a good man. His achievements include prestigious awards as the Nigerian National Merit Award and forums, and he's done a lot. Tonight, we're celebrating the one and only, the ever charismatic, a visionary, Basharon, Chief Dele Amomodu. Good evening and welcome, sir.
Good evening, my friend, my brother, the BOLA of Africa, as I call you.
You're welcome, Chief.
Thank you for inviting me. It's been a while.
Always a pleasure.
Show, but
yes,
you always give me the best.
You deserve the best, sir, and you're most welcome.
Thank you, and I appreciate all the encomiums you poured on me tonight. There was a night you walked into the State House opposite the conference center. We were having the Ovation Carol, and they were interviewing you on the red carpet, and you were speaking about me. I was crying.
You cried?
I cried. You made me weep that night.
Because that is who you are.
Wow.
A man whose legacy is still being written in bold, unapologetic ink. And that's who you are, Dele.
No, it takes greatness to recognize greatness in other people. And I appreciate you. I will never take that for granted.
You're most welcome. And this interview is live around the world on starfm.com.gh. We're live also in Sekendi Takrady on Empire.
Citizen of Ghana.
How did you meet President Mahama?
Oh, that's interesting. I had met him shortly before he became vice president. I was introduced to him by Mr. Victor Smith, my very good friend.
Ambassador Smith.
Yes, I had met him through President Rawlings. Every president in Ghana, from President Jerry John Rawlings, a man I love to call Junior Jesus, and that infuriated some of his enemies. I couldn't be bothered. So it was Victor Smith who took me to Jodu, where JM was staying at the time. And we got on well. He had also lived partly in Nigeria. He's a very cosmopolitan man, a free soul. He's at home with everybody, wherever he goes. So we became friends, but we didn't see much. We met occasionally when he became president at functions. It was on your program.
Oh, on Star Chat?
On Star Chat. I came here one day, and towards the end of the interview, you now asked me, how do I see Ghana and the performance of the government? Then I started heaping praises upon praises on Mahama and everything. I didn't know I had dropped a bombshell. I dropped my bombshell, entered the plane the following day, and went back to my country. Then, boom, 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 everybody started sending me newspaper headlines. Dele Amomodu said this, Dele Amomodu said Mahama is the best. This. So, that was how it started. All over again.
Wow.
Yes, and he said if I could help them with his communications and all that.
At the time, president, he was a former president.
He was president
He was president already, yes.
2016.
I remember.
He was president. And, the moment I give you my word to support you, no, nothing. Wow. If you like, give me $10 billion.
Correct.
I'm not going to take that money. I was humbled by his own humility. That a president could say, I need your communication skills. Wow. In fact, he used to tell me that he doesn't know where I learned my English from. He used to follow me, on Twitter. And he said, whenever people attack me, what fascinated him was that I will respond and the people will run away. And that I don't lose my head, I don't lose my, cool. I just reply, applying only one thing, logic. If it is not logical, forget it. So that was how we started.
Wow.
And people started attacking me. Oh, Dele this, Dele that. How can they allow a Nigerian to? But me, I'm a Ghanaian by fire, by force. Not that I don't have a country. I mean, for me to have contested in my own country says I have a country.
That's right.
But when you see a country that is doing well.
Will you say you're more a Ghanaian than Nigerian now?
No, I wouldn't say so. Of course, I'm a full-blooded Nigerian. I love Nigeria, despite our challenges and everything. But people also don't know the history and my trajectory with Ghana. I was on the run to exile in 1995. So I escaped through the border of Seme-Border into Cotonou in Benin Republic. From Benin, I moved to Togo. From Togo, I crossed the Aflao border into Ghana. And what I saw, July 25th, 1995, I will never forget. What I saw, President Rawlings was in power. I saw a lot of activities going on. And I was so impressed that, hey, Ghana does not even have the resources of some countries in Africa. And Ghana was doing so well. Then I saw the discipline in Ghana. I saw a place where water was running through the taps.
That wasn't happening in Nigeria?
That wasn't happening in a lot of places, not just Nigeria, in a lot of African countries with even larger resources.
In 95?
Yes, in 95. Then I was able to trace my good friend who had lived in Nigeria, Mr. Fritz Bafo. I doff my hat to him forever. I love him to bits. This man used to speak impeccable English.
Correct.
In Nigeria, he was known by everybody.
Sincerely yours. Yeah.
Oh, yes. So I didn't know how to locate him. So I asked my taxi driver, I said, do you know a man by the name Fritz Bafo by chance? Then he said, yes. I said, do you know where he lives? He said, no. Do you know how I can trace him? He said, yes. I said, how? He said he used to go and drink at the Irish pub, you know. This was 1995.
Wow.
And that was how I traced him. We carried each other up. And for the 3 days I spent in Ghana, we spent most of it together. And on my way to exile, which was my saddest period in life, because I never planned to live abroad. But when a General Sunday Abacha is looking for you, you had better disappear. Like they will say in military terms, vamoose. So I decided to vamoose, and he saw me through the airport. And then waved
off to London.
Off to London.
Wow.
Where I lived for the next 3 years. So by the time I was leaving, I made a promise. I said, Ghana, I will be back.
You said that?
I said that. Me, I'm a very spiritual person. I said, Ghana, I will be back. And when I'm back, you will know Dele Amomodu is there.
and it was in London that Ovation International magazine was birthed.
Yes, please.
Let's talk about it, because your name is synonymous with Ovation International, high-profile journalism in Africa. But before the global spotlight, who was Chief Dele Amomodu? What were you doing? Take us back into your humble beginnings, where you were born, you grew up, and all of that. Let's get to meet you.
I was born in the ancient town of Ile-Ife, where the Ghans are said to have migrated from before coming to Ghana. So my father was a civil servant. He was a road overseer, worked with the public works department. My mother was a petty trader selling rice and beans at a prison yard.
Oh, your mother used to sell rice?
To sell rice and beans, yes. You know, and so to borrow the popular cliche, I was born into a very humble family.
Not with a silver spoon in your mouth.
No, silver. Where? Where? So, my father died in 1973. I was 13 years old. So, we were so broke that we couldn't afford to pay our rent. So, my mother and myself had to bundle ourselves to go and squat with our cousins in Modakeke. And to cut a long story short, it was a struggle. my sister, my elder sister, I had 2 elder sisters who were all living together with our cousins. But as God will have it, I went to a secondary school, St. John's Grammar School. It was a Catholic school, a fantastic school, and that gave me a very rocky foundation. That school was where I started reading Ayikweyama, Kofi Awuno, Ngugi wa Thiong'o, and all of them. And with time, I did my school cert in 1976. I had a poor grade 3.
Oh, you had grade 3?
Grade 3, poor.
That was a very bad result.
Bad result. F9 chemistry, F9 biology, F9 mathematics. In fact, my mom took me to an uncle of mine, a professor, looked at my results, said, Mama, you are following this kind of dullard. Did all my papers, and I became a member of the first set of JAMBA. It's what we call JAMBA. The JAMB is the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board in Nigeria. So they distribute our students, the university you will go and all that. So that was, I entered, and of all courses, I went to study Yoruba.
Why Yoruba? For first degree?
I've always been a rebel. I realized that 200, 300 people will graduate in law, in English, and all those so-called funky subjects. But nobody was ready to study Yoruba or Igbo or Hausa or Twi. I don't even know if anybody studying Twi.
Do. So it wasn't that you had bad grades or anything.
No, I chose. Wow. I had read most of the English literature. The other thing I would have done was English literature. And I came back to it later. And I bagged a master's degree in English literature. The first and only Nigerian to attend such.
Really?
A first degree in Yoruba and a master's, yes, in English literature.
The first and only Nigerian?
Yes. It was something that nobody prepared for. Even my mother, who was an illiterate woman, had to ask me one day, do you want to be a herbalist, or what are you going to do with Yoruba?
Yeah.
Exactly. So that's the story of my life. Wow. And thereafter, to get a job became a problem. Then I wanted to read law. They rejected me. I tried everything humanly possible. I couldn't get a job in Ife. So by 1988, a friend now suggested that, so I started writing articles anyway. And a friend suggested I should go to Lagos in search of a job.
Okay.
So I got there, and the first job I got was with Chief Moshood Abiola. MKO, and that changed my life forever.
You've often spoken about the power of dreams. You do believe that dreams come true because you set out to do something and you achieve it. Was journalism always part of the dream?
No, never. It was out of joblessness. Yeah, you see, that is the power of destiny. I hope one day we'll be able to explore the power of destiny. If you are looking for a child of destiny and diversity, then you are looking at Dele Amomodu.
Wow.
Destiny, diversity.
You never dreamt,
never,
but no regrets at all, charting this path as a journalist.
No. It could only have been God.
Indeed.
Every time I reached a roadblock, trust me,
God was there.
A new road was going to open. It happened to the extent that countless times that now I'm not even bothered. Oh, if you offend me, you whatever you do to me, I accept it as a stepping stone to greater tomorrow.
You're always positive about life. You're smiling. You're okay.
What can I do?
What is it about you and life?
What can I do? I've been in prison where I was sleeping on bare floor just for saying my mind. I've been in exile for 3 years, lost everything I left back home. My first son was less than 1 year old when I had to escape early in the morning into the bush. I wasn't a smuggler, but then I had to go through the smuggler's route into Cotonou. So my life, God has shown me repeatedly how much. In fact, a friend of mine, wrote to me, Obey, is always telling me that God loves you too much, that God is partial about my matter. And it's true, God is definitely partial about my matter. Every time I see people just hate me, they don't know me. They just hate you for who you are. But trust me,
does that get you worried? People say you are larger than life. Dele Amomodu is everywhere. Today you are in Canada. The next 2 days you are in Nigeria, back to Ghana. In a week, and we'll talk about your travel schedules and all of that. And it's as if, look, who is this guy?
That's God in my life. Anybody who does not like that would have to speak to God and ask questions from God. There's nothing I can do about it. I will live my life. Look at me. I'm going to be 65 by the grace of God next month.
But you're still active.
I have not slept in 24 hours in any hospital in my life.
You have not?
And look, my doctor is Ghanaian. I just don't want to mention his name. If you ask him, he will tell you that one thing Chief does not and has never had is high blood pressure.
Wow.
If I can't fix it, I go to sleep.
People will say, look at you, your
big,
weight, you are big.
No way.
No BP.
If I can't fix it, I will sleep. Yes.
Wow. Peace of mind is everything.
Peace of mind. What I can't change, I can't change. So I hear all kinds of rubbish being said about me from time to time. And again, as a public relations man, I know every news is good news.
Even if it's negative news.
It's how you manage it.
Oh, tell us more about it. Really, every news.
Every news, there is something in it for you. Wow. Yes. When people are attacking you, it means you are doing something great. Nobody will attack a tree that has no fruit. What do you want to pluck from it?
So people shouldn't be worried. These are lessons of life that we need to know, that we shouldn't get frustrated or worried or depressed because of what others will say.
A lot of people live their lives for others. I don't live my life for others. I live my life for my faith, my beliefs, and I will never challenge yours. You are a Muslim, you are a Christian, you are a herbalist, you are
a traditionalist.
No, it doesn't make any difference to me. Everybody is my friend.
That's right.
They will say, don't go. I remember, my father didn't take us to our village. I'm originally from Edo State, a village called Iheve in the Owan East local government of Nigeria. And now our father refused to take us home. Why? Because the belief then was that witches and wizards will kill us. But after he died, I told my mom, I said, I want to know where I come from. And she said, no, you can't go, they will kill you. I said, Mama, if they kill me, they brought me to the world so they can take me back.
You went?
I went. Nothing happened. I built a house there now.
Wow.
It's part of my 65th anniversary celebration, that a place where my father refused to take me, and he died 52 years ago. 52 years after, I built a home there.
Wow. For your 65th birthday.
Yes.
16th May will be that.
Yes.
Wow.
I built a house there.
Are you a rebel?
Oh yeah, from the beginning to the end. My sister, I told you, who sent me to school, I lived with her because she was married to our school principal at the time, and I was living with them. I'm presenting her with a house on my 65th birthday.
You are presenting her
with sister. A brand new house.
Wow.
That I built for her. She's old, she's in her 70s now, and I feel it is unfair for me to be living large.
And then
my sister will be. That's how I live.
You have a good heart.
No, it's not good. There's nothing. No, I'm not doing her a favor. She did me a favor by sending me to school.
And you're giving back.
Yes. So people should remember where they are coming from. A lot of people, once they cross the bridge, they don't care if the bridge collapses. So I make sure that I think. Of course, I can't do it all, because I'm a man of modest income. I've written about it in the past. Yeah. People think but yes, I make money and spend money. I cannot make money alone and spend it alone.
Right.
So if you eat alone, you will die alone.
you know, Ovation International became the mouthpiece for the African elites, if you want. What was your vision? Today, tell us about it, when you started it, and how did you navigate the risks involved?
Well, as I said, I'm a child of destiny. I never planned to do Ovation at the time it happened. I had planned it much earlier, 4 years earlier, but I couldn't raise the funds. I lost my job as the highest paid editor in Nigeria.
Why?
Long story.
No, tell us. Cut it short for us. Why did you lose your job as an editor?
Till tomorrow, nobody told me what happened, but I was removed as editor and promoted as managing editor, which to me, I knew was a promotion into redundancy.
Like to go to
When
Siberia,
they put I was sent to Siberia.
but that's from editor to managing editor.
So
So
no, I knew there was nothing to manage. I'm a very realistic person.
okay.
So, and I resigned the day after. I was in London when it was done. The day I returned to Nigeria on a Sunday, by Monday I resigned. They took my official car, they took my driver.
Did you do any story that warranted?
Nothing. You know, when you get too powerful on your job,
Yes,
Bolare,
yes,
I'm telling you, you should always know that there are people
who come for you.
who will come for you. I became too powerful.
Wow.
In Nigeria.
Higher speed editor.
I became too powerful and too fast. I came into Nigeria, into Lagos in 1988. By 1990, I was highest paid. 2 years. It has never happened.
Wow.
And I don't think it has happened since then.
Was there ever a time in your life that maybe there was a story you had to do and somebody impressed upon you to stop, or your conscience, you thought, okay.
No. I did stories if I believed it was worth it, but I will not do stories out of venom. Some people, that we call it bad belly in Nigeria, where people will just pick on someone. People blackmail. A lot of journalists today, they blackmail you because they want your attention.
Right.
A lot of people will go and even report you to security because they want your attention.
Right.
It happens everywhere, not just in Nigeria. It happens, I'm sure it happens in Ghana.
Correct.
So, but I was focused. I lost my job, lost my official vehicle, lost my official driver. Do you know what I did? I realized that the biggest embarrassment about not having a job is people asking you, so what are you going to do now? And you have no answer. I became a bread seller.
Oh, you sold
I
bread.
Imagine from being
An editor,
the highest paid, to coming down from the pinnacle of the temple where you are not Jesus Christ. I came down to rock bottom.
Wow.
But I never gave up.
You sold bread. What?
I sold bread. I was selling. I became a distributor.
A distributor.
I was selling. Chief Abiola had a bakery called Wonder Loaf Bakery. So it was that Wonder Bakery that I now applied to, and then I started supplying bread. Why? Not because I actually needed the money, but because I don't want people asking me, what are you doing? And I had no answer.
Okay.
So then some people wrote in newspapers, my own colleagues, from editor to bread seller, the story of Dele Amomodu. I didn't mind them because I knew God was leading me somewhere. And here we are today.
Interesting, and it's a story to inspire, to tell people that, look, never give up. Even if you move from grace to grass, there's still hope. But how do you balance friendship with objectivity? You know, in a profession like ours, where access, many a times, it depends on loyalty. How do you keep that?
Well, my loyalty is first to the nation, not to my personal friends. For example, I'm not supporting my president in Nigeria today, yet I was one of his best friends.
Oh, President Tinubu?
I'm not in his party.
Is your best friend, or
I was one of his best friends.
And what happened?
There is nothing, no, once I don't believe in certain principles, I just leave it. I love him to bits. If tomorrow somebody wants to attack him unnecessarily, I will fight on his behalf. But politically, I'm already a member of PDP. He's a member of APC. So I'm not going to jump suddenly because he is the president of Nigeria. Then I move from my own party to go on. That's who I am. Just like when President Mahama lost election. A lot of people thought, but I knew President Nana long before I met.
Oh, you met President Nana Akufo-Addo
long before I met James.
And he was your friend before President Mahama?
Correct. We had met with his cousin.
Okay.
You know, who later became a queen mother. She was married to a Nigerian, Mrs. Olagbaju. In East Legon, she invited me to meet the great Nana, as I used to call him. He was Attorney General. So when people say Dele is NDC, how can I be NDC? I'm not a Ghanaian. I can't vote in Ghana. I don't have any business with any party. Any president in power, if you are doing good and you need my support, I will support it. President Kufuor and I, you remember, you did the biggest story of my house in the airport residential.
Correct.
We lived a few doors away. I used to stroll to his house. That was the man who brought Nigeria and Ghana so close together. We always loved President John Ajekun Kufuor. Great statesman. Very, very wonderful man. And he never discriminated against anybody. I remember I had some friends with him. His office was in the castle at the time. And my friend said, we love Banku and okra. We used to buy from El Gringo, somewhere through there,
Yes.
And I called the president. I said, our friends who are with you, they are dying to eat. He said, we should bring it. We should bring it. It was such, very feel-good man. That's why you see him that at his age, he's still a good man. He's still enjoying his life.
That's right.
And so, for me, that is just the way we take life. I'm not bothered about what people would say. Some will like you, some will not like you. It's fine.
We'll talk about your good self and President Mahama and your relationship, but let's get to Ovation magazine as well. You've covered presidents, celebrities, royalty across continents. We can talk about great moments as well. But for you, what's been the most unforgettable cover story or moment for you handling Ovation?
There have been many of them, but the most remarkable will be the story of Ambassador Dende Fernandez,
I remember.
a Nigerian diplomat who was not an Angola but was representing Angola at the time.
Wow.
He was not a Mozambican, was representing Mozambique, was representing the Central African Republic. He was a very tall man, I'm sure about 6'6" or 6'7", and completely detribalized, a Pan-Africanist. I remember the story of when when Kofi Annan
became Secretary General.
Yes, and he hosted him at the Waldorf Astoria in New York.
Big.
Yes, the bill that night, when money was money, would have been over 250,000. The Fernandez Avenue.
A Nigerian.
An island
in New York.
Yes, please.
Wow.
He died some years back in Belgium. I attended his funeral. He was buried in Belgium.
Wealthy man living in luxury.
Living in luxury. He flew me on one occasion from London to Edinburgh in Scotland. And he must have seen the poor wristwatch I was wearing. And he looked at me and he said, Dele, you can't be wearing this type of wristwatch. I said, Daddy, I said, Daddy, that's what I can afford. He said, okay, don't worry. I'm going to deliver the mother of wristwatches to you, and it will be delivered by special security.
Really?
Yes, he flew me to Scotland just to have lunch and flew me back to London after lunch, same day.
To have lunch?
Just to have lunch.
Wow.
Yes. So, I mean, that story.
You've met people you've met, but Fernandez.
Fernandez was in a class of his own, of course, Chief Moshood Abiola, who later became my adopted father.
You also did a cover story on Mike Adenuga.
That is.
Tell us about Adenuga, owner of Glow.
That is the boss of all bosses.
Adenuga is the boss.
That's my boss.
Wow.
That is my boss, the boss of all bosses. You know, he doesn't like this thing I'm saying now. He doesn't like it. He doesn't like publicity.
Yes.
He's a man who will pay you not to write about him. People pay to be written about, but he will pay
not to write.
Don't write. He doesn't want good or bad. He said he doesn't want anybody to remember he exists. But his palace.
So badly. Wow.
His palace on Banana Island, there is nothing like it.
Nothing like it.
With helipad, with everything. That palace, there is nothing. You could think you are in
Nigeria.
In Nigeria, Banana Island, in Ikoyi.
Oh, yes.
Great man. Great man. The only man I know who is making money per second. Glow. As I'm here, I have Glow. He's working. The guy is making money every second. but he doesn't want anybody to talk. So I hope he doesn't hear me.
Wow.
This one I'll break the rule. I'll
Yes.
break on this occasion.
Wow.
But people underrate him a lot because he grew his business in an organic manner. It's not like those people that I remember meeting the publisher of Forbes, Steve Forbes, when he came to Lagos. And I told him, I said, the people you call rich people in Nigeria, we don't regard debtors.
So you have a lot of rich people who are under the radar.
Oh, you know, anybody, if you can borrow money from a bank, nobody sees your balance sheet.
Oh, but the richest man, African or black person, is a Nigerian. That's Aliko Dangote.
Yes.
Are you saying
Matadenuga? You
yes.
know, we're talking about stocks when you're talking about Dangote, when you talk about the other.
But you borrow money from banks.
But no, I don't know how much anybody borrowed. But what I know is that Adenuga is making money every second because data. Look at the data. Telephone, Globacom. Look at people are talking. I'm traveling now tonight. I'm going to roam my phone when I get to my destination tomorrow. Glow, he will still be making money. When he's sleeping, he's making money. When he's awake, he's making money. That is the kind of money, and that's why some people can lose $20 billion
and still
on the stock market.
Yeah.
But Adenuga will not lose that kind of money because his business is organic. So that's the difference. That's what I mean by And when you say he's number 10, he's not bothered.
Okay.
Because he knows what he is worth.
Okay.
His property portfolio alone, forget it.
Really?
Across Nigeria, the only man who owned 2 banks simultaneously at a time, Defcon Merchant Bank, Equatorial Trust Bank.
Mike Adenuga.
We call him the bull, we call him the guru, and I named him the spirit of Africa. The spirit you don't see, but you feel its impact around you. You don't have to see him.
Interesting.
He's the only man I know who has turned people into billionaires.
Really?
Yes, if he loves you, he will turn you into a billionaire. He's not giving people peanuts. You know, a lot of rich people, they like to give peanuts and things like that. But
you give it block.
Yeah, I asked him one day, I said, why do you give out so much money? Wow. And he told me that if you have a billionaire friend and it does not reflect on you, then he's not your friend.
He one time visited you in London. He said he took your home address, you were living with a friend, and he came to surprise you.
The man, don't let's talk about him tonight. Wow. Yes, because he won't like it.
He's a good man.
He's a good man. Let's just offer our prayers to
right.
God to continue to bless him.
So in all of this, Chief, how do you balance the need for glamour and integrity in the media, especially in today's age of, clickbait culture, we call it?
You see, if you are not hungry, you'll be able to balance anything. Hunger is what makes people to do certain things. And I always thank God for giving me that humongous goodwill that has allowed me to be able to live a free life. Freedom is the greatest thing a man can seek for himself.
Say that again. Freedom
is the greatest thing a man. If you say you don't like me, I'll leave you. If you love me, I will love you. But that freedom, you must never trade your freedom with anything.
You've interacted with power players across Africa. Tell us, and be frank, what unites and what divides African leadership?
Well, let me put it this way. I will reframe your question. Is that what makes an African leader to succeed or an African leader to fail? Is sycophancy. There are too many sycophants. Once you get power, there are professional sycophants who will come for you. They don't mind if it is raining, they will stand there. They don't mind if the sun is burning, they will stand there. And they will tell lies. And when you fail, they are the first to abandon you. So any leader who wants to succeed must find a way to get rid of sycophants. If you don't do that, in fact, they are more powerful than the leaders.
Really?
A lot of leaders will be under bondage. They will be in bondage.
Are they the people that bring leaders down?
They are everywhere in the world. If you look at Even America today, everybody says, hey, anything the president says, yes, it's good, it's good. It's like that everywhere. They are fun. I used to tell people when they were attacking President Nana that Nana was doing this and that. I said, no, go and check it. I said, the man I know is a very educated man, obeying, very, very intelligent, very smart lawyer. He doesn't need Ghana's money. You understand? But it's always the people around him that will get you into trouble. And that's my advice to every president, including my friend, that please
President Mahama.
Yes, beware of sycophants. Once you do that, you will succeed. Because he is a naturally gifted human being. In fact, I call him the leader of Africa. I don't just
President
call him,
Mahama?
Yes, I don't just call him the president of Ghana. I call him the leader of Africa. Because he's a leader. I've traveled with him to universities. I have never seen such an incredible brain. He will prepare a speech. He will get on the podium, and he's not going to read. Everything is going to come straight from his brain. Harvard, University of Chicago.
You were with him?
I was with him. University of Johannesburg, World Economic Forum Summit in Durban. When I was a visiting scholar at Oxford University, we invited him to deliver a lecture. He will make you proud any day. Ghana is lucky to have such a man.
To have President Mahama.
Ghana is extremely lucky.
What do you like about him?
I love intelligent people and I love humble people. His humility was underrated. But I remember when some people were boasting that they would never hand over power to him. And I said, oh, they don't seem to know this man. If God loves you, God shows it in many ways. Very, very down to earth. You can see him. You can see it in him from head to toe. He is not a frivolous character. And God has helped him. And all I owe him now is my prayer that I hope sycophants will not derail him. Oh yes, the people you've never seen, once you get power, they will start coming. And so, fortunately for some of us, because we're not contractors, because we're not that kind of hustlers, we will always
speak truth to power.
No, this is what we have picked up. Every now and then I will send him. If I see a newspaper, something, or that I will send to him, that, look, this is what they are saying about you. Because sycophants will never let you see those things.
Wow.
Yeah.
You made a bold move into politics and even contested 2011 for president in Nigeria. What inspired that leap from journalism to get into that big role? Okay,
maybe two things. Number one, I was tired of lamenting like the biblical Jeremiah. Lamentations of Jeremiah, lamenting, oh, Nigeria is bad, Nigeria is this, Nigeria that. So if I think I can do it, how come I'm not offering myself? So that was the first thing. The other one, I like to put it that I was misled by the emergence of Barack Obama.
Oh, so you were misled.
I was misled. I thought Africa was ready for an Obama.
and you lost.
I
miserably.
I love.
What do you think about it? Do you ask yourself questions that what really drove me into that?
Well,
any regrets?
No. I gained a lot from it. Let me tell you. I told you I'm a child of destiny and diversity. After I lost the election, before the election, I got introduced to social media. So I was doing Twitter, then later Instagram and all that. But today, I was smart enough to quickly upgrade myself. I thought I was doing social media for politics. I quickly translated it into business. So today, I'm one of the most powerful voices on social media.
Wow.
My social media handles are usually Dele, Amomodu, OVATION. I've succeeded in building a double brand, just like a Bill Gates, Microsoft and Bill Gates, just like a Richard Branson, Virgin and Richard Branson. It's not easy to build a double brand, but I've succeeded in doing that. So if I lost woefully in politics, I have won spectacularly in my business.
Wow. So no regrets at all.
No.
But did you anticipate or expect such results? I mean, with the margins, because you thought Nigerians loved you, you were going to sail through, maybe the percentage, were you disappointed?
No, let me put it this way. I don't know if you've ever come across a book by Brazilian author called Paulo Freire, Pedagogy of the Oppressed. You can write it down. Pedagogy of the Oppressed. The oppressed man actually loves his oppressor. Who are the people who go in the rain, in the sun to go and vote for useless leaders? They are the poor. They don't know any better. They've given up on their lives, and whatever crumbs they can pick up, they are okay with it. Those who are killing themselves, those who die, you won't see the children of the candidates. No, the candidates, you won't see their children. It is the children of the poor electorates, that fight. It's unfortunate.
How do you, even maybe before that, do you believe that Nigeria has made significant progress since the days of political oppression that forced you into exile?
We've made some progress. Of course, there's also been retrogression. The opposite of progress is retrogression. And it's unfortunate because our dream when we were fighting the military was that we were going to have a truly democratic country. But unfortunately, we are now seeing traces of dictatorship and everybody is worried. And that's why I've been appealing to my big brother, the President Tinubu, that you can fail in everything, but you must not fail in deepening democracy in our country.
How would you rate President Tinubu's government? Does it look like he's on the right track? Is he or is he not?
Let me appeal to you to spare me that question.
No, but it's a very harmless question.
It is not.
Will you rate his government?
It is not harmless. I don't like to criticize my president when I'm outside. When I'm inside, I can say whatever I like. But the next thing you hear is, oh, Dele was attacking his president in Ghana. What I want to tell you is that I'll be biased because I'm a member of opposition. Whatever I say, I'll be biased. So let me confess that my assessment of President Tinubu will be biased, and that is why I don't think it is fair.
That is fair.
Of me to speak about him.
That is fair. We're going for a break shortly, but before that, really, what kind of father, husband, and friend are you, Dele Amomodu?
I will say I try my best. It's a balancing act, and I'm sure you are in the same boat as myself. If you want to avoid poverty, you will lose something. You have to give up something. My family, I really, really adore them.
Wow.
And I thank them for their endurance, because it is not easy to be married to a Dele Amomodu or to a BOLA.
You are always on the move.
Always on the move. As soon as I finish now, they're already calling me from the airport.
Oh,
that's why I was looking at my phone. They're already calling me.
You're flying out?
I'm flying out tonight.
Wow.
And when I get to my destination tomorrow morning, by evening, I'm flying out again.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm a global citizen. And we were praying for good fortune.
Now you have.
And fame.
Yes.
And God gave us more than that. If we complain, then God should be angry.
What would you say is your greatest achievement so far, before we go on the break?
My biggest achievement is to acknowledge God in my life always. Not to think I'm the one doing it. Some people think it's because they are smart. There are people, I have friends who see themselves as being very smart, and they treat everybody like...
Right. Yes, right. Well, acknowledging God and the God factor is your greatest achievement in life. We're going for a break. When we come back, there's a lot that we'll be getting into as an entrepreneur, the advice that you have for young Africans, and also turning 65. Somebody just sent me a message that Dele, 16th of May, can he actually get us? I'm actually a big fan and I want to be in Nigeria for his birthday. Will he be magnanimous enough to invite me?
Oh, why not?
All expense paid.
Oh, that's really what to pay. I like that person.
So that is actually coming in from Sylvia, and she wants to know if you would love to invite her for your birthday celebration, Chief Dele Amomodu, and if that is a
popular in your home base, ultimately it will spread and people will accept it. But if your own people are not supporting your business at home and you just want to climb the tree from the top, you are going to lose
So it should start from home.
It should start from home. And be original in whatever you do. Think hard. Don't just say, oh, Bola is a successful journalist, I want to be a journalist. You don't know where he came from. You don't know his trajectory. You don't know what he suffered. And you don't know what he's even suffering.
That's right.
Some people see us and think, oh, we have no worries. Every day I receive messages. Please, I need this.
Yes.
I need that. You know, so, but once you are original, you are popular at home, and then finally, is that your quality must always be top notch.
That's right.
My signature, I tell people, if I'm going to put my signature on anything, it must have quality.
I love that.
People are ready to pay anything for quality.
I love that. You know, we have one of the finest gentlemen of our land. He texted me when he saw the flyer on social media and he says, look, I have a present for Chief Dele Amomodu. He's a very wealthy young man coming up. We call him Dennis. He's behind the luckiest promotion here in Ghana. I can see he bought you. He came in bearing gifts. So Dennis, you can come through and do the presentation.
Oh, wow.
He wanted to surprise you on set, and I think he brought you some.
How are you, sir? Wow, thank you so much. He told me about it. I said, what have I done to deserve this?
So we thought it wise to actually capture this on camera and also celebrate you. So he came bearing gifts, like I said, and have all the best of, you know, bubblies for you in terms of champagne. So then,
thank you, sir.
We look up to you.
We look up to you. Thank you, sir.
We look up
thank
to
you, sir.
We look up
I
to
hope. We will get your details from
yes.
Bola.
Exactly.
And I would love to meet
And
with
we're
you.
enjoying the conversation.
Oh,
I just got into Nigeria.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yes. I just returned from Abuja and
wow.
you know.
Wow, and I was in Abuja till 2 days ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, so good to see you.
So
don't
we'll do that, but thank you very much.
We'll definitely meet. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
So in all of this, maybe you should invite him to your 65th birthday celebration.
Yes, definitely.
And with that, you are doing the Dele Amomodu leadership lecture.
Yes.
Please sit down, yes, and talk to us on May 16th.
Yes, please.
What is the focus?
The focus this time is how to end hunger and poverty in Africa. It's the biggest challenge facing Africa.
Right.
Whether you are a Ghanaian, you are a Nigerian, is how to rescue Africa from hunger and poverty. And former President Olusegun Obasanjo, who is the biggest brand, in Africa after Nelson Mandela, in my view, has agreed to be the guest lecturer. There is nobody better positioned to do that than him. He's been a farmer since he first left power as a military ruler in 1979. He came back and governed Nigeria from 1999 to 2007. And so I'm very, very lucky to have him. Then we have President Goodluck Jonathan, who is also coming as a chief guest of honor. And so many other important dignitaries from across Africa.
Interesting stuff. How do you relax?
Most times when I'm flying. As I'm flying
you
tonight.
Enjoy flying?
Oh, I enjoy flying. On Virgin Atlantic alone, I've done over 1 million miles.
1 million
miles just on one airline, Virgin. And I've been on Gold, on British Airways, on Air France, on Emirates, on Turkish
You're not
Airlines.
afraid of flying?
No. And I've faced very turbulent moments flying. But trust me, once it starts shaking, I see people I'm just there. Because I'm a child of God. And whether you like it or not, there are a million ways of dying. Whatever God has chosen for you is what will happen. So,
what is your greatest fear in life?
Failure. I don't like to engage in anything that will fail, but sometimes I've failed. Even in Ghana, I started a weekend newspaper in Ghana many years ago.
It failed?
It failed. And one morning I gathered all my staff, led by Amsechi. You must remember Amsechi. And I said, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. They said, good morning, publisher. I said, today I have good news for you. They said, hey, share the good news. I said, we are killing this paper before it kills us.
So you shut down the newspaper?
I shut it down. They said, but people are going to say we failed. Then I looked at them and said, haven't we failed?
You didn't give up.
When you have failed, you must accept reality.
Wow.
Otherwise, the thing will kill us. You know, they said, I told them there's something to be ashamed of. We'll do it again and do something. My restaurant failed.
Yes.
In Ghana.
You had a restaurant in Osu.
Yeah, in Osu, I lost over
prime location.
I lost over $500,000 on
You
that
lost
deal.
half a million
dollars. Yes, my wife, I couldn't tell her at home for a long time.
And you closed down the restaurant.
And I shut it down when I couldn't. I first moved it from Osu to Airport West.
Yes.
And then, unfortunately, I had a very powerful politician. He's late now, who said I could not open a restaurant in that neighborhood. I got all my approvals. I didn't do anything illegal. Fire brigade, everybody came there and approved it. And this guy said no. In fact, the day I was opening it, our ambassador then, our high commissioner, Obanikoro, yes, came there. He had to bring his official vehicle from the Nigeria Commission.
Yes. I remember we went to a place, 34 Salvation Road, up at Lagos.
Yes.
Governor's nightclub. But here's Coco Tiba for you. Millions dollars. Yes.
There was a time I brought Burna Boy.
Wow.
I brought whiskey to Ghana. Oh boy, that's big money. And you know, Ovation, we don't sell tickets. And the sponsors will say, $500,000 if I put it on billboards, if I put it on, so they'll start rationalizing it and all that. But kudos to my friend at
Charterhouse. Yes, Yola, you
are there, and Teresa. Hey, Manti.
It's not time for our mystery questions.
Yes,
please.
I hope you will not surprise yourself.
Please, here we go.
Okay. You know, in Africa, there is rigging. Rigging is allowed.
Yes.
Okay, so I should pick one.
Yes, please. No, you're picking all, but pick the first one.
Okay.
Sure, and read it out for us.
You see, this one is already turned, sir. That's to tell you that it's not a good question.
What is the question?
Between former President Olusegun Obasanjo, Muhammadu Buhari, and Goodluck Jonathan, whose administration did you admire and why? I admired all of them, but Obasanjo is still the clear leader.
Obasanjo.
Wrote off our debts. That has never happened. I don't know anywhere else. Maybe it's happened in Africa. Nigeria was debtless. That's strange. Unfortunately, we've acquired all the debts in Africa right now. So that's a very easy question to answer.
Obasanjo. Okay, so the next one will be what? What do we have in there? Yes, sir.
If you were to write your final Ovation headline today, I know I can't write it today because I'm not dying yet.
But if you were to, what would it read? Yes.
This one is tough. Final Ovation headline about someone or about
you
anything?
Choose, sir, about anything. What would it be? If you were to do that today, now, what would it be?
Ovation International Magazine.
What would the headline?
God's greatest gift to man.
Simple.
Wow. It's a gift of life.
Wow.
And people, when I was starting it, they said, nobody's going to buy it. Oh, positive news. No, if you don't write bad stories about people who is sleeping with who. I said, no, I'm not going to. Then the most expensive magazine at the time was selling for 20 naira in Nigeria. And we started at 150.
150 naira?
I'm audacious.
Wow.
From there, we moved to 300. Today is 2,000.
Sold out.
Buy or you don't buy. No. In fact, what we do now is to target only those who can afford it.
Okay.
Don't do business. I learned long ago that don't do business with a poor man, because no matter the price you put on it, he can't pay. So
Poor men are suffering.
no,
Don't do business with a poor
I
man.
live most of my life as a poor man,
Okay.
so I realize that poor man, poverty is a bad thing. They call it one peswa. You can't pay. So why are you now wasting your time? People say, oh, but you can deal with volume. No, I'd rather deal with lack of volume. Just give me. Why sell to 20,000 people when 1,000 people can pay what 20,000 people cannot pay? Premium brand, premium or nothing.
That's right.
Like our man sang,
Yes,
you know, flavor.
Flavor, yes.
Yes, Agbadola.
Yes.
Yes, that would be a song to play later. Premium or nothing.
Okay.
Yes.
Then the poor will suffer. We don't get a good.
No, the poor has. The poor people actually enjoy more than us.
Really?
Hey, they enjoy.
How?
A poor man will come to BOLA and say, I no get, you will give. Come to Chief Amomodu, I no get, you will give. By the time you add it up, he has made more money than you and I. So they have their own system. But what I'm saying is that in business,
Right.
why are you marketing to someone that if you say one peswa, he can't pay it? There's no point.
All right. The last.
Number one for me, because it's what has helped me, is education. Any country that does not invest in education will reap ignorance.
So that's one. Second one will be.
Second one will be electricity. I don't know why.
Nigeria.
Not just Nigeria, most parts of Africa, we still have doomsaw. I don't know why. I don't know why. Because these are things we take for granted in other countries. The only country I've been in recent time that the electricity was very stable was Morocco. You know, and I know that President Mahama tried in 2016. I don't know what happened. I think after he left, things collapsed again. But I'm sure right now he's working very hard on that. So electricity, if you have electricity, then you will have national development. So everything is dependent on electricity. Then the third one will be...
So education, electricity, and...
Education, electricity, and agriculture. Food security is very important.
Right.
That would also lead us into security.
Sure. So the last one.
The last one. What is that one thing about Dele Amomodu that most people don't know? Is that a lot of people think I'm very strong, but I am actually very soft. Extremely soft. I cry easily.
Easily, even now.
Easily. I was crying just now. You saw tears now. I cry easily because you see, I love mankind, and it depresses me when I witness the absence of love. So I remember the night I was the biggest fan of Michael Jackson. The night he died, I wept all night.
Wow.
You will not believe it. My wife was looking at me. Are you so stupid? How can you be crying because of Michael Jackson? What's your own Michael Jackson? You won't believe I attended his funeral. I went all the way to Los Angeles Staples Center. I was there live. Wow. I dressed like I was the chief monarch. And outside that who weeps louder than the bereaved.
What is it with you and Michael Jackson?
For me, that's the greatest talent of all time.
Hands down.
No second, no third.
Wow.
Michael Jackson. Everybody was asking, my friends were with me, they were asking, who is that man? They said he's an African king. I think I laughed.
Chief Dele Amomodu.
Yes, so.
What an evening.
Always a delight to be with you. Always.
Thank you, sir.
Always.
Thank you for honoring us. Thank